If there's one thing that I've learned in my 5 years of FPV, it's that you don't need to break the bank to get in and experience this hobby. Today, we're going to answer this question. If I had to start from scratch, what is the gear that I would buy tomorrow to start my FPV journey? G'day, Stu from UAVfutures here, and today, well, we've got a big one for you guys and girls who want to get into the hobby. What we are talking about today is how to start FPV right. How much money do you need to spend to get gear you never have to upgrade? You're going to have an amazing time, and most importantly, you're not going to break the bank. Now, on this channel, we have reviewed so many drone products. I've been doing this thing for about 5 years. We've had some really cheap products, things like the $99 build, which are down the bottom, as cheap as you can get into the hobby. We've had some crazy premium products as well into the thousands of dollars. And coming into the hobby, trying to experience FPV drones can be a little bit daunting. Today, we're going to kick the doors open and we're going to find out exactly how much money do you need to spend to get into the hobby with gear no need to replace. It's going to last you the lifetime of your FPV career. And what gear would I start with? If this was me tomorrow, all my gear disappeared and I'm an everyday pilot, what would I recommend? What is going to be your best bang for buck? You're going to get the most out of this amazing hobby. And let me tell you, if you've never tried FPV before, it truly is amazing. It is just going to make your mind explode with so much fun. Now, the crazy part is this all started from this email. I'm going to read it to you. Big shout out to Aaron. He sent me this email, and the important part is in here that says, I hope you don't mind me emailing you some questions. I have around $800 to spend at the moment on a full FPV setup. I am starting from scratch. Now, this is important because we're going to be covering everything you need to get up and get flying. I'm also very patient, and if you think I should save some more money and getting something a little bit better, quality would be best. That's what I'll do. I just really want to know, if you were getting into FPV freestyle completely blind, what gear would you suggest would be best? I think I'd like to start with a 5-inch. So I can put a GoPro on it, but apart from that, I am completely open. Cheers, mate. Any input would be awesome. So thank you very much, Aaron, for that email, because this is going to be exactly for you. And I know so many other people out there as well. They want to know, how do I get into this hobby? I don't want to go the super cheap route. I don't want to break the bank and spend all my cash as well. Stuart, what is the best bang for buck gear? What do you recommend? We're going to be going through it all. It's a bit of a breakdown. Everything's going to be linked down below as well. We're going to be starting with radios, goggles. We're going to be talking about drones and all the extras too. We've got some tools to talk about. We've got chargers, we've got extra antennas, we're covering, it's even including your batteries, everything here. It's going to be under your budget there, Aaron. So you had an $800 budget. We're going to break it all down, talk about the pros and cons of each single one. Every single product we talk about here, I have tested, I have used thoroughly many times. These are my top recommendations on how to start in the hobby correctly. We'll keep a little running tally on the side as well. And I want to know, if you were starting, what gear would you recommend? So when we go through our radios, when we go through our drones, put a running list in your tally down below. What do you start? If you were starting tomorrow, what gear would you use in FPV? Now, what we're going to start with first, let's get some of this stuff out of the way, what we are talking about, and we're going to show you exactly how it comes. And everything here is compatible. It's all going to work together so you can have an amazing FPV experience. The first thing I want to talk about, and this is kind of important, is the radio. What radio are you going to use? Let me get this in the roof cam. I should focus that a bit better. Radio, that is a little bit better. Let's do it. Let's kick it off. We're starting with the radio. Now, radios are one of the best places you can invest money, but luckily nowadays, more than ever, you don't need to drop $400, $300, or even $200. We've got the Radio Master TX16S. I'm going to link that down below. This is my personal radio that I use very frequently, and it's going to cover all your FPV needs. It's open to crossfire compatibility in the future. It's got a ton of switches if you ever want to move away from drones and fly some planes and fixed wing, things like that as well. And the big one, it is multi-protocol, so it is going to bind to whatever you've got. Maybe you've already got some little toys at home that you want to bind up to. You don't have to worry about different receiver options, all that sort of stuff. The Radio Master TX16S absolutely has you covered. Now, I've got one here. We're going to put it on the screen. If I open this one up, you can see exactly what comes with it. I'll put mine out of the way. This radio, it charges by itself as well, so it's got an inbuilt charger that you can use. If I take it apart, and let me get that box out of here, you do get a nice little carry case. If we flip this open, you can see a brand new Radio Master T16S. It comes with a little battery pack on the back if you wanted to put some 18650s on there. We've already got you covered when it comes to batteries though in this kit. It is, I wrote it down, $110, so the radio is $110. It comes with a little charging USB-C cable. You got a nice little key ring here. You can adjust the spring tension. Overall, it is a very, very high quality radio at an insane price. $110, $109, whatever it is, you're gonna be very, very suited with the Radiomaster TX16S. Now, another reason why this is absolutely fantastic is in the future, if you ever feel like sticking a crossfire unit in the back, you don't need to do any fancy mods. It's just gonna work straight away, and then you are off to the races. You also can put crossfire into your quads, which is a very, very strong protocol link, which you can go some extreme long ranges with. So we'll put the radio to the side, the radio out of the way. Now, with that radio aside, the next big choice is what goggles should you be using, and I feel like this one is a bit of a no-brainer. We're gonna go analog because analog's gonna let you go to the races if you wanna go to the races. It's a more social event if you're flying around on analog as well. It is cheaper than flying around on digital. You don't get locked into the DJI ecosystem. So at the moment, we are sticking in 2020 with some analog goggles. These are my goggles of choice, believe it or not, and yes, there's more expensive ones out there. We are talking about these Sky Zones. I've got the O2Xs, which are a little bit more pricey depending on where you shop around. I'll put a few different pictures on the screen as well. But what we've got here, these are the Sky Zone O2Cs, and I've seen these for as cheap as I think about the $250 mark. When I did a bit of a Google, I was finding them at $276 where they actually were in stock. If we open these up, I'll take these out. I'll show you why these are such a good goggle as well. You don't need to buy any extra diversity modules or anything like that. They've got inbuilt diversity. Let's open them up so you can see exactly what you'd be getting. Get these boxes out of the way. Excuse me, boxes. All right, so if we open these up, these are the goggles themselves. They come with a couple of different sticky pads you can stick on the front. If we flip them over, one big thing I like about these goggles, they have nice, big, bright screens. They have a great functionality when it goes through searching through the modules, all that sort of stuff, but you get all these little adapters. Now you get this bad boy. This is probably my favorite one. This is the XT60 adapter, so you can charge it off any power pack that you've got, any battery. We'll be talking about batteries. You can have the battery in your pocket. These goggles, very comfortable on your face. You get really, really good range. Me and my crew have been flying around with them for a long time. Absolutely love them. You get a whole bunch of other cords as well if you want to hook it up to your TV. They do DVR built in. They run a DVR out if you need to. Diversity. The one problem with these goggles though, you also get a nice little carry case. The one problem with these goggles is you get these two little dodgy antennas right here. It's a bit of a shame for Sky Zone, but don't worry because that's going to bring us on to our next bit, which is our antennas, because we've got our amazing radio, we've got our amazing goggles. What antenna should we be using? And that comes down to these bad boys right here. Now I'm going to put another link down below. We are talking about we'll get these out of the way as well. More boxes, stuff everywhere. These antennas are going to make your goggles, you're going to get better reception, you're going to be able to fly further, you're going to have just better vision when you are flying your FPV drones. This is the real ACC triple feed patch and also a little far view pagoda antenna. I'm going to link to some of these. There is like a base version where you can get both of them at once. I think that's when I wrote it down was about $18. Or something like that, under 20 bucks anyway. So that's it. You've got amazing goggles and amazing radios. Those two, amazing radio. Those two are gonna last you. You don't need to ever upgrade them. Sky Zones, great goggle. You will be more than happy. You can take them to any race, tune in, amazing goggle. You can see beautifully. And also the Radiomaster TX16S, the most popular radio of 2020. Why? Because it is well priced and very, very functional. Now moving on, the last part, we're going to talk about the drones in a little bit as well, but what I want to say is, how do I charge them? Stuart, what charger should I be getting? And the one I'm recommending today is, and it's because it's a cheapie, but it's still gonna get the job done right, is the Toolkit M6. I'll link some videos for all these products down below as well, because I've tested every single one of these. This one, however, it is a 10 amp charger, and there is also the option for a little parallel board, which we're functioning into this video, where you can charge 6 batteries at once. So you'll be able to charge 6 batteries. Toolkit for me, I would say in my experience as well, it's just a great value, a dollar-wise investment when it comes to chargers. Yes, some chargers can cost $200-300. This one on its own is like 25 bucks or something, but I'm going to put a picture on the screen where it came with a parallel board, which means you can charge 6 batteries at once at home and also save some cash. So there we go to our side. I'm not too sure what our tally would be up to at the moment with radio, goggles, and a charger, plus antennas. Moving on, we should probably talk about the drone. So Stuart, what drone do you recommend? Aaron said he's got under 800 bucks all up what he wants to get into freestyle so he can slap a GoPro on the top, I would recommend 2 drones at the moment. Number one, it would be, and they're all around the $200 mark. We have the Nazgul from iFlight, an absolutely beautiful quad. I'll put my video up here, you should be able to see as well. It rips very, very hard. It is great at freestyle. It's been cheap in the past as well, down to like $165. If you can get it on special, have a bit of a shop around. Or this bad boy, this is the T-Motor FT5, a very, very new contender on the block. Just a beautiful quad, flies well. T-Motor makes, it's got Velox motors on here. It's got an 800 milliwatt VTX, so you can do some long range if you want. It's going to be perfectly compatible with our radio, with our goggles, and all in all, it's got a nice little CADX cam at the front. All in all, very, very nice stuff. Now, you mentioned you want to do some freestyle. This is a freestyle drone. You can put your GoPro on the front with a little GoPro mount. You're going to be off to the races recording some gorgeous stuff with this bad boy right here. So all in all, a very, very nice drone. Now, a lot of people can get hung up on drones. You can get some very expensive ones like the Mr. Steel drone. That is $900, I believe. But this bad boy, whether it be the Sedora, whether it be the iFlight, whether it be the the FT5, all these 3 of these drones are going to be linked down below, all around the $200 mark. You're just going to get up, get flying, and have a good time. So Aaron, this is my recommendation for you. And then moving on, some of the final stuff, of course, we're going to get you 2 extra sets of props, so you're going to break some props. You don't have to worry, keep flying for a little bit. And then we also have these bad boys right here. Now, I'm going to recommend for batteries a couple of different things. So number one, we need some batteries for the drones. We've chosen a 4S drone. What batteries do we recommend? It is only because they're cheap. So this is the China Hobby line. This is because when they're on sale. The China Hobby line, I think they're 1500s, 4S, a high C, the black version. And they're coming in at $22 each. So times that, we're gonna get you 6 batteries to get up in the air. With 6 batteries, you're looking at about $132 for 6 batteries, which means flying for days. Why is that great? Because when you come home, you can stick them all on your toolkit as well, so you can charge all 6 at once. And you're going to be getting some good flight times, good batteries. You can just rip around, have some fun in the sky. So it's not one of those times when it's say, hey, what do you recommend? I give you everything, and then say, oh, but you just get 1 battery. No, no, no. This is what I'd be getting if I was coming into the hobby. This is what I would drop my cash on. And then finally, what we have, it is, you're going to need a battery for your radio. Yes, it's got some inbuilt 18650 cases that you can fill up if you've got some 18650s at home. But Aaron or anybody else who wants to know, or what should they be getting, I would recommend, I'm going to put a picture on the screen. They don't have to be fancy batteries. We're just going to keep them as LiPos because we've got a LiPo charger. We can use this to charge our batteries that goes in our radio, and also the battery that we're going to charge our goggles. So I've just linked 2 Zop batteries. I think they're 2S 1500s. They don't have to be a high C, and they are coming in at $15. So that's for both of those combined. That's about $7 each. It is looking good. I did write a whole bunch of little note stuff down. We've covered our radio, tick. We've covered our sky zones. We've covered our chargers with the balance lead. We've got our power supply. Actually, speaking of chargers, that's something that I did forget on the screen. You will notice you're going to need a power supply to charge that. That's about $20. It fits directly straight into our toolkit. So that's going to be on there as well. We've covered our drone with the FT5. We've got our 6 batteries as well from China Hobby Line, some high quality batteries there. Now we've got our Zop batteries, we've covered our props. It's all coming in at about, if my maths is correct, $792. So we're under that $800 mark. And I do have a few little recommendations. So I know you mentioned something about, you know, should he save up a bit more or wait or be patient? Here's my recommendations. If you are getting into the hobby, do yourself a favor, something that is going to last you a long time. If you're already dropping this $800, and $800 is a serious investment, but like I keep mentioning, we all love FPV. This stuff is going to keep you in the air for a long time. It's what I would go and buy tomorrow. There's a couple little things I would add. Number one, I would be adding this on. This is the TS100, the best soldering iron in the biz. It heats up very, very quickly. And the most important thing, if you put it with one of these little adapters, which is about $8 as well, so $55 plus $8, let's just say, you know, $65 right here, you can do your soldering. It can also work from your batteries. So all you have to do, your drone batteries, believe it or not, boom, Bob's your uncle, you're off. You're going to be doing some soldering. You don't have to worry anymore because you don't need to worry about a power supply for this bad boy, nothing like that. You can do your work at home, but also if something breaks in the field, you pull this out of your backpack, your bag, wherever you're going to be carrying it around, done. You can do some in-field repairs as well. We've also got some little tools I put on the screen. They're about $8 for some hex drivers, just make your life a lot easier. I mean, $8, very, very cheap stuff. And then finally, the other one, I'm going to link a couple of different bags down below as well. I use the the Real ACC FPV backpack, but there's a bunch of different backpacks down below. Just shop around, or you can just use one of your school bags or your kids' bags or whatever it's going to be to store your FPV drone stuff. Having it in a backpack does make it so much easier when you go out to the fields. So with all that out of the way, let me tell you we are coming in at under budget. It is under 800 bucks and you are absolutely sorted. So as a recap, we've got goggles. We've got the goggles that I use as my personal choice. The radio, it's my personal choice. I've got access to all the drone products out there I could ever want, and we're going to be using the same radio, the same goggles. I absolutely love the SkyZone O2s and the O2Cs, O2Xs, beautiful goggles. We've got a very, very powerful drone. You can do your freestyle. We've got our charger power supply. It can do 6 batteries at once charging. So because of that, we ordered you 6 batteries as well. We got that in there. We've got a TS100 if you want to drop a little bit more, another 55 bucks on our little soldering iron infield, another $8 for tools, some spare props. And you've also even got the batteries for the goggles, and you've got the battery for the radio. All in all, it is like the ultimate way to start FPV, how to do it right. And so that's the price that it's probably going to cost. It is around $800 to answer your questions. So I want to say thank you so much for your email. Other people out there too, what are you flying with? We also have, I'm going to put a little form down below or something as well. We've been doing some live streams. We've got some crazy giveaways where I actually have a T16 to give away. We're giving away 3 different drones. It's got a charger in there as well. There's like a huge FPV, there's a pair of goggles. There is a huge FPV jackpot prize in the description. So we're going to be seeing you on the live streams. Make sure you enter the form that's down below as well, because somebody is going to be getting an awful lot of free stuff in the post. But I want to know, what are you guys flying with? What do you regret buying, and what would you start buying if you were getting into the hobby tomorrow? What do you think is the right move for you? Would you go digital? Would you go analog? There's a lot of different things in the air, but for me, if I was starting tomorrow, this is probably the kit that I would be buying. So I want to say on that, subscribe for more FPV related content, and as always, happy flying.